title, The Unseen Resident. In the heart of an ancient town, nestled at the end of a winding, forgotten road, stood the grand, yet dilapidated Oakwood Manor. Its towering structure, once a symbol of opulence, now bore the weight of untold stories and hidden secrets, shrouded in a perpetual mist that seemed to whisper tales of the past. Eleanor and her brother Thomas inherited the manor under mysterious circumstances. Their distant relative, the last known occupant, vanished without a trace, leaving behind a legacy of rumors and fear. Despite the townsfolk's warnings, the allure of uncovering their family's history and the promise of adventure drew them to the doorstep of Oakwood Manor. As they pushed open the heavy, ancient doors, a cold gust of wind greeted them, carrying with it a faint, almost inaudible whisper. The manor's interior was a maze of shadowy corridors and grand, dusty rooms, each holding remnants of a bygone era. Strange, the place was unnervingly silent, save for the occasional creak of the floorboards under their hesitant steps. Days turned into weeks as they explored every nook and cranny of the manor. At night, the atmosphere grew heavy, and the shadows seemed to dance and twist in the dim light of their candles. It was then that they started to notice peculiar occurrences, objects moving on their own, fleeting glimpses of figures in the periphery of their vision, and an unsettling feeling of being watched. Driven by a mix of fear and curiosity, Eleanor delved into the manor's library, unearthing old diaries and journals. The entries spoke of the original owner, a reclusive and eccentric figure known for dabbling in the occult. His obsession with achieving immortality led him to conduct unspeakable rituals, inviting something dark and insidious into the manor. One night, as a storm raged outside, the true horror of Oakwood Manor revealed itself. Thomas vanished, leaving behind only a trail of cryptic clues that hinted at an ancient, malevolent presence within the manor walls. Eleanor, frantic and alone, searched for him, her resolve fueled by an unshakable bond. The deeper she ventured, the more the boundaries between reality and nightmare blurred. Whispers filled the air, guiding her to a hidden chamber beneath the manor. There, amidst arcane symbols and dark, pulsating energy, lay the heart of the manor's curse. But as she stood at the threshold of understanding, a chilling realization dawned on her. The manor was not just a prison for the entity it harbored, but also a living, breathing entity itself, feeding on the fears and souls of its occupants. Eleanor's search for Thomas had led her into a labyrinthine trap, one that intertwined their fates with the manor's dark history. The storm outside intensified, mirroring the turmoil within. Eleanor, with every ounce of courage, prepared to confront the unseen resident, to break the cycle of horror and save her brother. But as she stepped forward, the chamber door slammed shut, engulfed in darkness. Outside, Oakwood Manor stood silent under the veil of the storm, its secrets intact, waiting for the next unwary soul to uncover its truths. The tale of Eleanor and Thomas remained unfinished, a chilling reminder of the manor's insatiable hunger for stories, for lives to entangle in its never-ending nightmare. The story of Oakwood Manor and its unseen resident remains open, a door ajar to a realm of terror and mystery, inviting those brave or foolish enough to explore its depths and perhaps add their own chapter to its endless, haunting narrative. In the heart of a forgotten town lay the dilapidated Harrogate Manor, a place shrouded in darkness and whispers of unspeakable horrors. Our tale resumes on a stormy night as the relentless rain battered the ancient windows, the wind howling like the cries of tormented souls. Amelia, our intrepid protagonist, had ventured into the manor seeking the truth behind her ancestral lineage, but found herself ensnared in a web of supernatural mysteries far beyond her comprehension. The manor, alive with the echoes of its morbid past, seemed to breathe with a malevolent life of its own. The walls, adorned with portraits whose eyes followed her every move, whispered secrets of the damned. Amelia, clutching her grandmother's locket, ventured deeper into the bowels of the house, driven by an inexplicable force. In the depths of the manor, she stumbled upon an ancient library, its shelves buckling under the weight of forbidden tomes. In the flickering candlelight, she discovered a dust-covered journal, its pages yellowed with age. The journal belonged to her ancestor, Lord Nathaniel Harrogate, who had dabbled in the dark arts and was rumored to have made a pact with an entity known only as the Shadow. This entity, neither alive nor dead, promised eternal life in exchange for unspeakable sacrifices. As Amelia pored over the journal, the storm outside intensified, the thunder mirroring the tumult in her heart. She learned of a secret chamber, a place where Lord Nathaniel conducted his ghastly rituals, driven by a mixture of fear and determination. Amelia sought out this chamber, guided by the cryptic clues left by her ancestor. Navigating the labyrinthine corridors, she finally found the hidden door, marked by an arcane symbol that seemed to pulsate in the dim light. With trembling hands, she pushed the door open, revealing a chamber that reeked of death and decay. The air was thick with the stench of ancient blood, and the walls were lined with chains and archaic instruments of torture. In the center of the room stood a stone altar, its surface stained with dark, dried blood. As Amelia approached, the air grew colder, the shadows deepening around her. It was then that she heard it, a whisper, barely audible over the storm, calling her name. The voice, laced with malice and despair, beckoned her closer. Amelia, her heart pounding in her chest, realized too late the grave mistake she had made by entering this unholy place. The chamber, a nexus of dark energies, began to warp and shift, the walls closing in. Panic set in as the realization dawned upon her that the manor was not merely a house, but a sentient being, fueled by the atrocities committed within its walls. As the room grew darker, the whisper grew into a cacophony of voices, each telling their tale of sorrow and pain. Amelia, overwhelmed by the intensity of the haunting, felt an invisible force pulling her towards the altar. The ground beneath her feet seemed to move, the stone slabs rearranging themselves, revealing a gaping abyss below. The voices crescendoed into an unbearable din, and just as Amelia felt herself being consumed by the darkness, the narrative abruptly halts, leaving her fate and the secrets of Harrogate Manor shrouded in mystery. The storm rages on outside, the manor's silhouette a stark reminder of the thin veil between our world and that of the unknown. The story hanging precariously in the balance, waiting to be continued. As Amelia stood on the brink of the abyss, the air thick with the scent of ancient evils, the whispering voices crescendoed into a tangible presence. The force that had been pulling at her seemed to manifest into a chilling gust, wrapping around her like a cloak woven from the very essence of dread. The ground beneath her trembled, the abyss beckoning with a hunger that resonated with the darkest fears harbored in the human heart, with every fiber of her being screaming for escape. Amelia found her limbs frozen, as if the manor itself had claimed her, a living tribute to its insatiable appetite for torment. The shadows around the altar began to coalesce, forming into shapes that were human in form, yet so grotesquely distorted, they seemed as though plucked from the most depraved of nightmares. In this moment of utter despair, Amelia's thoughts raced back to her grandmother's locket, the only tangible link to a past she desperately wished to connect with, but now feared might be her undoing. Her hand, seemingly of its own volition, clutched the locket, the warmth of the metal, a stark contrast to the cold malice that enveloped her. It was then, in the heart of darkness, that a flicker of light appeared, not from the candles, which had long since been extinguished by the oppressive forces at play, but from within the locket itself. The light, soft and ethereal, seemed to pulse in rhythm with Amelia's own heartbeat, growing brighter with each passing moment. The entities that had been inching closer paused, as if baffled by this unexpected luminescence. A silence fell over the chamber, a silence so profound it seemed as if the very fabric of reality awaited the outcome of this standoff. With the light from the locket casting an otherworldly glow, Amelia felt a surge of energy coursing through her veins. Words from her grandmother's tales, stories of resilience, and the triumph of light over darkness echoed in her mind. Gripping the locket tightly, she took a step back from the abyss, the light from the locket now blazing with the intensity of a beacon in the night. The shadows recoiled, hissing like serpents doused in holy water, their forms dissolving at the edges where the light touched them. But as the light grew, so did the resistance from the darkness. A tumultuous roar filled the chamber, the very walls of the manor shaking in protest. Amelia, caught in the eye of this supernatural storm, realized that the light offered a fleeting chance at salvation, but with the manor's malevolent will asserting itself, seeking to snuff out this beacon of hope, the path to escape was anything but clear. The light from the locket, a symbol of her heritage and the love that had transcended generations, now stood as the sole barrier between Amelia and the consuming darkness of Harrowgate Manor. As the forces of light and dark clashed in the ancient chamber, the story takes a pause, leaving Amelia's fate and the battle for her soul hanging in the delicate balance between salvation and damnation, to be continued. In the heart of the tempestuous battle between light and shadow, Amelia, with the locket's glow as her shield, found herself at a precipice of ancient enigmas and familial legacies. The manor, sensing the defiance of its would-be victim, summoned the very essence of its dark history, weaving it into a palpable force of malevolence aimed at extinguishing the rebellious light. The room, now a battleground for forces as old as time, vibrated with the intensity of their conflict. The ancient stones of the manor groaned under the weight of the unseen war, their cries a testament to the countless battles that had transpired within these walls, hidden from the eyes of the living. Amelia, driven by a newfound resolve ignited by the locket's luminescence, channeled her focus into the heart of the pendant. The light, responding to her will, expanded, carving out a sanctuary within the encroaching darkness. Yet, with each push against the shadows, the darkness grew more aggressive, its forms more terrifying. A legion of nightmares conjured from the depths of human fears. Among the cacophony of clashing forces, a voice emerged from the void, its tone laced with a venomous charm that sought to penetrate Amelia's resolve. It spoke of secrets best left buried, of truths that could unravel the fabric of her understanding, promising answers in exchange for the cessation of her resistance. Amelia, her mind a whirlwind of doubt and determination, felt the weight of her lineage, the burden of her quest for knowledge, bearing down upon her. The manor, with its centuries-old consciousness, seemed to be closing in, its walls pulsating with a sinister intent, as if ready to consume her very essence. The locket, now a beacon in the maelstrom, pulsed with a rhythm that seemed to mirror the beating of Amelia's heart, its light a testament to the enduring spirit of her ancestors. But as the voice in the darkness grew more insistent, weaving tales of her family's hidden past and the true nature of the pact made by Lord Nathaniel Harrowgate, Amelia found herself standing on the edge of an abyss much deeper than the one before her. With the darkness inching ever closer, its forms now taking on the visages of her ancestors, twisted and tormented, Amelia was forced to confront the possibility that the answers she sought might come at a price too harrowing to pay. The narrative pauses here, leaving Amelia encapsulated in a moment of profound decision. Her fate and the legacy of Harrowgate Manor suspended in a delicate balance. The story poised to delve deeper into the heart of darkness, to be continued. Amidst the shadowy siege, with the ethereal glow of the locket as her sole bastion, Amelia's resolve was put to the ultimate test. The voice, now clear and more compelling, wove a narrative that threatened to unravel the very fabric of her reality. It spoke of a lineage cursed by ambition, of a family ensnared by their own dark pursuits, and of a legacy that was both a gift and a grave burden. The manor, feeding off the turmoil within Amelia, began to morph, its architecture twisting into impossible geometries that defied logic. The shadows, empowered by the house's malevolent will, took on more sinister forms, their whispers now a deafening roar in Amelia's mind. They spoke of power, of secrets that lay buried beneath the manor, secrets that only she, the last of the Harrowgates, could unearth. As the line between reality and nightmare blurred, Amelia found herself in a hall of mirrors, each reflection revealing fragments of her ancestors' lives, moments of triumph, of madness, of unspeakable horrors that had been the foundation of the Harrowgate legacy. The mirrors, however, did not merely reflect. They beckoned, inviting her to step through into the echoes of the past, to witness firsthand the price of the Harrowgate pact with the shadows. With each step, the air grew colder, the light from the locket struggling to pierce the oppressive gloom. The hall seemed endless, a labyrinth designed to ensnare the unwary, to trap them in a cycle of despair. Yet, amidst this onslaught of dread, Amelia's heart clung to a sliver of hope, to the possibility that within these twisted reflections lay the key to breaking the Harrowgate curse. But the manor was not inclined to relinquish its secrets so easily. The walls themselves seemed to bleed darkness, a tangible manifestation of the house's anger at her defiance. The ground beneath her trembled with the might of unseen forces, and the very air seemed to thicken, making each breath a battle. In this realm where past and present intertwined, Amelia encountered a mirror that stood apart from the rest. It pulsed with a light that mirrored that of her locket, yet within its frame swirled a maelstrom of spirits, each crying out for release, for salvation from the eternal torment that was their legacy. As Amelia reached out, drawn by an inexplicable connection to the swirling specters, the narrative halts, leaving her on the brink of a revelation that could either illuminate the path forward or plunge her deeper into the darkness. The fate of Amelia, the truth of the Harrowgate legacy, and the battle between light and shadow remain suspended, a tale yet to be continued. Amidst the tempestuous upheaval, with the manor itself rebelling against her quest, Amelia stood defiant, her resolve hardened by the truths unveiled in the mirror's visions. The spectral forms of her ancestors, now more vivid, swirled within the frame, their silent screams and pleading gestures painting a tapestry of despair and warning. The locket, glowing with an otherworldly light, seemed to pulsate in tandem with the mirror, creating a resonance that momentarily stilled the chaos. In this fleeting calm, Amelia sensed an ephemeral bridge forming between her and the spirits trapped within the mirror, a connection that whispered of redemption and release, driven by an urgent need to break the cycle of torment that bound her family. Amelia reached out once more to the mirror. This time, her touch was met with a cold that seeped into her bones, a chill that spoke of the void between worlds. The images in the mirror shifted, revealing a hidden chamber deep within the manor's heart, where the pact had been sealed and where it could be undone. The spirits, their forms coalescing into a more coherent presence, seemed to guide her, their movements synchronized with the pulsing light of the locket, leading her away from the hall of mirrors and towards the bowels of the manor. Each step took her deeper into the ancient edifice, through corridors that twisted and turned, defying the laws of architecture and reason. The air grew heavier, laden with the scent of decay and the oppressive weight of unspoken horrors. Whispers filled the air, not just the voices of her ancestors now, but something older, a primordial darkness that predated the manor itself. It was a presence that watched her every move, its intentions unreadable, its power undeniable. As Amelia navigated the labyrinthine depths, the manor seemed to shift around her, the walls breathing, the shadows moving of their own accord, the distinction between the physical and the ethereal blurred. The manor itself, a living entity with a will bent on preserving its dark secret. Finally, Amelia stood before a door unlike any other in the manor, carved from dark wood that seemed to absorb the light. It bore no handle, no keyhole, only an intricate carving that mirrored the arcane symbol on the locket. It was here, she realized, that the heart of the darkness lay, the source of the Harrogate curse, and perhaps its undoing. With the spirits of her ancestors swirling around her, Amelia faced the door, the final barrier between her and the truth. The narrative halts here, leaving her on the threshold of discovery. The manor's secrets teetering on the edge of revelation. A tale to be continued. Amelia, standing at the precipice of the unknown, felt the mirror's pull intensify. A siren call that promised answers, yet threatened to engulf her in the abyss of her family's dark past. The manor, now a living entity, fueled by centuries of betrayal and sorrow, unleashed a maelstrom of spectral energy, aiming to sever the fragile link between Amelia and the ancestral spirits beckoning her from within the mirror. As the air crackled with malevolent energy, the locket's light flared, casting a protective shield around Amelia. It was more than a family heirloom. It was a key, a beacon of hope amidst the encroaching darkness. The spirits within the mirror, their faces etched with grief and desperation, reached out to Amelia, their silent pleas resonating with the core of her being. Compelled by a force beyond her understanding, Amelia pressed her palm fully against the mirror's surface. The cold glass yielded like the surface of a still lake, her hand passing through into the whirlwind of spirits trapped within. A surge of energy, cold yet oddly comforting, enveloped her, drawing her closer to the truth hidden in the depths of the mirror. The cacophony of the manor's rage crescendoed, the walls themselves seeming to bend inward, straining to reach Amelia and drag her back from the brink of revelation. The mirror, now a portal to the labyrinthine corridors of her ancestors' memories, beckoned her to step further, fully immerse herself in the Harrogate legacy. Visions swirled around her, a torrent of moments both grand and grotesque. She witnessed the rise and fall of the Harrogate line, each ancestor playing their part in the manor's dark history, their choices weaving the fabric of a curse that bound them all. The weight of their collective sorrow bore down on Amelia, a tangible force that threatened to shatter her resolve. Yet amidst the chaos, a whisper of clarity emerged, a thread of light in the darkness, guiding Amelia toward a long-buried truth. The manor, sensing the imminent unveiling of its darkest secrets, convulsed in a final, desperate attempt to silence the past, its very foundation quaking with fury. Amelia, standing at the crossroads of her family's legacy, faced a choice that could alter the fate of the Harrogate line forever. The mirror offered a path to understanding, to confronting the heart of the darkness that had consumed her family. But at what cost? The story pauses here, with Amelia enveloped in the spectral embrace of her ancestors, the manor's wrath closing in, and the veil between past and present thinning. The fate of the Harrogate legacy, and Amelia's role in it, remains uncertain, a tale shrouded in the shadows of what is yet to come. Amidst the swirling maelstrom of darkness and the unwavering light from the locket, Amelia's resolve was tested as never before. The manor, alive with the twisted souls of her ancestors, seemed to pulsate with a malevolent energy, each beat a dark whisper aimed at eroding her will. The voice, now clear and more compelling, wove tales of her lineage, revealing secrets of the Harrogate bloodline that had been soaked in darkness and bound by a pact so sinister it threatened the very fabric of reality. It spoke of a legacy steeped in power and knowledge, but at the cost of an unending curse, a cycle of torment that Lord Nathaniel had set into motion centuries ago. As Amelia stood at the precipice of understanding, the spectral forms of her ancestors began to coalesce into a more defined presence, their expressions a mix of sorrow and rage. They reached out to her, not with the intent to harm, but with a desperate plea for release from the eternal bondage that the manor and the pact it housed had imposed upon them. The locket, reacting to the heightened emotions and dark revelations, pulsed with an intensity that seemed to push back the encroaching darkness. Yet, with every revelation, the boundary it created wavered, as if the very truths Amelia sought were feeding the power of the manor. In this moment of chaos, a vision began to take shape before Amelia's eyes. A vision of the manor, not as a place of horror, but as a sanctuary. A place where the Harrowgate legacy could be redeemed and the cycle of torment broken. The vision hinted at a hidden truth, a key that could unlock the manor's darkest secrets and possibly free her family from the curse. However, the path to this redemption was obscured by shadows. The manor's defenses rallying to prevent any escape from the dark pact that had bound the Harrowgate lineage for generations. The voices of her ancestors grew more urgent, their spectral hands pointing towards the heart of the manor, where the true power of the pact, and possibly the means to break it, lay hidden. Amelia, torn between the desire to flee and the need to uncover the truth, found herself stepping deeper into the heart of the manor, each step guided by the pulsing light of the locket and the whispers of her ancestors. The darkness writhed in anger, its shadows twisting into forms of unspeakable horror, yet unable to penetrate the protective circle of light. The narrative halts here, with Amelia venturing deeper into the unknown, her fate and the fate of the Harrowgate legacy hanging in a delicate balance, the story teetering on the edge of revelation and darkness, ready to be continued. Amidst the swirling tempest of spirits and the manor's wrathful tremors, Amelia felt an unprecedented fusion of her spirit with the ancestral echoes. Each touch of the ephemeral figures not only revealed the harrowing history of the Harrowgates, but also infused Amelia with a profound sense of purpose. It was as if the very essence of her lineage, with all its torment and tragedy, was fortifying her resolve, preparing her for an inevitable confrontation with the dark heart of the manor. The spectral vortex within the mirror began to coalesce into a more coherent narrative, guiding Amelia through a maze of lost memories. She saw the origins of the Harrowgate curse, not merely as a pact with the darkness, but as a complex tapestry of choices, each thread a decision made in moments of desperation and desire for power. Amelia's journey through the mirror's depths was both a descent into the past and an inward exploration, a search for the kernel of strength that had sustained her ancestors through their darkest hours. The locket, pulsing in harmony with the unfolding visions, seemed to be both a key and a compass, guiding her toward a confrontation with the source of the Harrowgate's damnation. As the boundaries between Amelia and her forebears blurred, she found herself in the heart of the manor as it once was, a place of grandeur now corrupted by the shadows that had seeped into its stones. The manor's resistance intensified, its spectral inhabitants manifesting as twisted, tormented figures, embodiments of the curse that sought to prevent Amelia from uncovering the truth, and perhaps finding a path to redemption for her family. In this realm of intertwined past and present, Amelia came face to face with the embodiment of the manor's dark heart, a shadowy figure that seemed both familiar and utterly alien. It spoke in riddles and half-truths, offering insight wrapped in deception, challenging her to discern the truth of the Harrogate legacy and her place within it. The confrontation was not merely external. It mirrored an internal struggle within Amelia, a battle between the desire to flee the manor's suffocating darkness and the need to confront it, to break the cycle of suffering that had claimed her ancestors. The locket's glow, now a beacon in the all-encompassing darkness, offered a glimmer of hope, a promise that the long night of the Harrogate curse might yet see the dawn. But as Amelia stood on the threshold of revelation, the narrative halts, leaving her poised between light and shadow, past and future. Her next actions, a bridge to either salvation or damnation for the Harrogate line. The tale remains suspended, a whisper in the darkness, awaiting the moment to unfold further. In the spectral chamber, with the heart of the manor's darkness looming before her, Amelia felt the weight of centuries bearing down upon her. The shadowy figure, an amalgamation of all the Harrogate patriarchs, their sins and sorrows etched into its form, beckoned her closer with a gesture that was both an invitation and a challenge. The air around her crackled with the energy of untold stories, the whispers of the manor converging into a cacophony of voices, each clamoring to be heard. Among them, Amelia discerned the faint, desperate echoes of her ancestors, their warnings and pleadings merging into a haunting chorus that urged her to tread carefully on this perilous path. With each step Amelia took towards the figure, the locket's light pulsed more fervently, as if in defiance of the darkness that sought to engulf her. It was as though the spirits of her ancestors were channeling their strength through this tiny beacon, bolstering her resolve to face the manor's core, to confront the curse that had bound her family to this place of despair. As she drew nearer, the figure began to speak in a voice that was a tapestry of her ancestors' voices, a chilling symphony that spoke of the original pact with the shadows, of the price paid in blood and sanity for the Harrogate's fleeting glories. The tale it wove was one of ambition turned to hubris, of power corrupted by darkness, and of a legacy tainted by an insatiable hunger for more. But within this narrative of doom, Amelia sensed a thread of hope, a possible key to unraveling the curse that had long ensnared her family. The figure, its form shifting and flickering like a candle in the wind, hinted at redemption, at a sacrifice that could cleanse the Harrogate line of its sins, but at a cost that was as yet unclear. The chamber around them seemed to react to the figure's revelations, the walls pulsing with a ghostly light, revealing inscriptions that chronicled the Harrogate Pact in cryptic verses. These inscriptions, illuminated by the locket's glow, seemed to offer clues, pieces of a puzzle that Amelia needed to solve to understand the true nature of the curse and the path to its undoing. As Amelia pondered the figure's words and the the cryptic inscriptions, the narrative pauses, leaving her on the cusp of a discovery that could change the fate of the Harrogate line forever. The shadows that clung to the corners of the chamber seemed to hold their breath, the air thick with anticipation, the tale of the Harrogate curse hanging in the balance, waiting for the next chapter to be written. In the shadow-laden chamber, face to face with the enigmatic figure that embodied the manor's dark heart, Amelia felt the weight of countless generations pressing upon her. The figure cloaked in darkness, its features a blur of past and present, spoke with a voice that seemed to echo from the depths of the manor itself, each word imbued with the power of the Harrogate legacy. Amelia Harrogate, it whispered, its voice a melange of her ancestors' voices. You stand at the crossroads of destiny, where light and shadow converge. The path you choose will forge the future of your lineage. The air around her thickened with anticipation, the spirits of her ancestors gathering, their silent presence a testament to the gravity of the moment. The locket around her neck pulsed with a steady light, a beacon in the oppressive gloom, its glow reflecting off the myriad of mirrors that lined the walls, creating a kaleidoscope of light and shadow. As the figure extended its hand, a gesture that seemed both an invitation and a challenge, Amelia felt an unseen force nudging her forward. Within its grasp shimmered a key, wrought from the same darkness that pervaded the manor, yet glinting with a light that seemed to pierce the very essence of the shadows. This key, the figure intoned, unlocks more than mere doors. It opens the path to salvation or damnation, the choice resting in the hands of the last Harrogate. The manor itself seemed to hold its breath, the usual whispers and moans that filled its halls falling silent. Amelia, with the weight of her decision bearing down upon her, reached out, her hand trembling as it hovered over the key. The moment her fingers brushed against it, a flood of visions assailed her, each one a potential future born of her choice. Some bathed in light, others shrouded in impenetrable darkness. With the key in hand, Amelia stood at the heart of the manor, the epicenter of the Harrowgate curse. The path before her forked, one leading deeper into the shadows, the other ascending towards a faint yet growing light. The spirits of her ancestors hovered at the periphery of her vision, their presence a silent plea for liberation from the chains that bound them to the manor. The narrative pauses here, on the brink of Amelia's monumental decision, the fate of the Harrowgate lineage hanging in the balance. The story, like the manor, is alive with possibilities, each awaiting the turn of a key to unfold. Amelia, with the key cold and heavy in her hand, stood at the crossroads of her family's destiny, the weight of her ancestors' hopes and sins pressing upon her. The spectral figure, a manifestation of the manor's dark heart, watched her with an intensity that seemed to pierce her very soul. The manor itself seemed to pulse with a malevolent anticipation, its walls creaking, the shadows dancing with a frenzied eagerness. As she gazed into the abyss of potential futures the key presented, Amelia realized that the true power lay not in the manor, nor in the dark legacy of the Harrowgate line, but within herself. The light emanating from the locket, a symbol of her family's love and resilience, grew brighter, casting away the shadows that sought to envelop her. With a resolute breath, Amelia turned her back on the path that led deeper into darkness, the path her ancestors had tread before her, each step further entrenching the Harrowgate curse. Instead, she stepped towards the light, the key in her hand, not just a tool to unlock doors, but a symbol of her decision to confront and end the cycle of torment. The spectral figure, its form wavering at the edges, let out a shriek that echoed through the manor, a sound that was both a lament and a curse. The shadows recoiled as the light from the locket enveloped Amelia, her resolve acting as a beacon that pierced the heart of the darkness. As she approached the source of the light, a grand mirror, unlike any other in the manor, Amelia raised the key. With a decisive motion, she inserted it into the lock that appeared on the mirror's ornate frame. Turning the key, she felt a shudder pass through the manor, as if the very foundation of the curse was being uprooted. The mirror's surface rippled, and through it, Amelia saw the spirits of her ancestors, no longer twisted by torment, but calm, their faces marked with a serene acceptance. With the turning of the key, she had not only unlocked the mirror, but also the chains that bound her family's spirits to the manor. The spectral figure, its power waning, reached out towards Amelia, a final attempt to sway her from her path, but it was too late. The light from the locket, combined with Amelia's unwavering will, had ignited a blaze that no shadow could quench. As the figure dissipated, the manor began to crumble, the shadows that had once dominated its halls vanishing into whispers of smoke. The oppressive atmosphere lifted, revealing the true form of the manor, not a prison of despair, but a monument to the strength and courage of one woman who dared to defy her dark heritage. In the end, Amelia stood amidst the ruins of Harrowgate Manor, the dawn breaking on the horizon, casting the first light of a new day. the spirits of her ancestors, freed from their eternal torment, faded into the light, their departure marked by a sense of peace that had long eluded the Harrogate line. Amelia, with the locket still warm against her skin, turned away from the remnants of her family's dark past, stepping into the light of a future she had forged with her own courage. The Harrogate curse was broken. The manor's reign of terror ended. But the legacy of Amelia's bravery would live on, a beacon of hope in the face of darkness. And so, the tale of Harrogate Manor and its last heir concluded, not with whispers in the dark, but with the triumphant light of dawn.